Two very interesting lawsuits are happening in the United States, actually happening over on the East Coast, and they involve the President of the United States. Not that he's being sued or he's being charged with anything, but two people in government have been charged big time. One is former FBI Director James Comey. He's been charged in lying to Congress. And now what he has done, his attorneys have gone to the judge and say, Your Honor, the reason my client is being charged is because the president doesn't like him. This is vindictiveness by the president because of, what we did to him, and now he's trying to get back at us. So, Your Honor, we want you to throw the charges out against James Comey because the president is just going after him because he's angry at what we did to him. That's essentially the gist of what's going on in that one story. James Comey's attorneys are saying, yeah, you can't prosecute a guy. He's being maliciously picked on by the president because the president is seeking revenge. And in Washington, D.C., we don't do revenge. In Washington, D.C., everybody gets away with everything because one person gets caught, he's liable to say something about somebody else, and everybody else gets caught. So in Washington, D.C., there's no such thing as revenge. It's what side gets away with it because they know they can. Now, the other case going on in Washington, D.C. is a very interesting one involving none other than John Bolton. He's the guy with that mustache, got the big white mustache thing. He was Donald Trump's intel individual, sort of the Tulsi Gabbard, if you will, when Donald Trump was in his first term, clear back in 2016. Well, it turns out that Donald Trump fired John Bolton because, as we learn, John Bolton was a war hawk. Now, I hate using those words, but his cure for everything is let's bomb everybody. He was a very, very aggressive individual who wanted to, start wars and bomb people. And I'll tell you what, there's a whole lot of people that will tell you the exact same thing. There's a fellow by the name of Mark Levin, the attorney, the great one, Mark Levin, said he's known Bolton for over 20 years. And he knows exactly that's the mentality he has. Trump doesn't like going to war. Apparently, he likes settling wars, get things straightened out. He's shown he can do it. So now, John Bolton was fired. But as it turns out, a grand jury in, I believe it was Virginia, indicted John Bolton on not one, not two, but 18 counts. He had all kinds of classified, highly classified, top secret stuff, SC stuff. That's really high secret stuff in his possession at home. And he was telling members of his family, hey, here's what's going on. Here's what's happening here. Here's what's happening there. Divulging top secret information to other people they called Person A and Person B. But that was the deal going on. So John Bolton right now, he has pleaded not guilty himself because he said, hey, I can do this. I was the head of the DNI. Was is the operative term. What was he doing with all these top secret documents in his possession? Normally he would have as part of his job, but you don't say anything to anybody. You don't divulge stuff. He was doing it. 18 counts. That's pretty serious, folks. So now you got James Comey, the former FBI, saying, hey, the president is being mean, he's being reactive, he's seeking revenge. You understand, if a judge says, yeah, I agree, the president was seeking revenge, everybody else that is being charged for whatever crime that comes down from this administration, everybody can say, Your Honor, hey, same thing goes for me. I'm being picked on by the president. He's seeking revenge on me. I don't care who it is. It could be a case coming up. They're going to say, revenge. If this judge goes along and says to Comey, you're right, it's revenge. And you can't charge people with that in Washington, D.C. Maybe you can in other areas, but not in D.C. So now we know James Comey's attorney says, yeah, you can't charge me because it's revenge by the president. That could lead to everybody else saying same thing. In John Bolton's case, he was fired by the president because the president doesn't like war people, doesn't like warmongers. 18 counts, felony counts. Pretty serious stuff. Now you know what's going on in Washington. Was this the end of it? Will it stop here? The answer is no. I think it's just starting. But everything hinges on what that judge says about James Comey. Was it revenge from Trump? And if it is that enough to close charges and squash the charges and say, can't charge somebody because someone's being mean? Someone is coming after someone? Revenge? Is that now a legal defense? Maybe in Washington, D.C., it just might be.